Hello, welcome back after a while now.
Yes.
To the Warhammer Book Club with me, Mira Manga.
And you, Arbiter Ian.
Yeah, me and me. Yeah, that's what we're doing today.
Light years have passed since we were last together.
It's been a while, actually, hasn't it?
It has been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. So we're back. We're going to talk about another Warhammer book. A book that has been requested a lot. Not the one you think it is, the other one that's been requested a lot.
We were under so much pressure to read this one.
I know, and it was an interesting experience reading it, but we'll get to that. First, we have to say hi.
Hello.
We're humans on the internet. We have the usual selection of Patreons and memberships, and you can like and subscribe, and also
Ian has amazing merch.
I have loads of merch. You have amazing merch.
Tolerable merch.
Mira also probably has introduced the author, not of this book because we're not allowed, but of all the other books on her channel. So you can go there and see this. What else do I say at the start of these things? It's been a while. Also, this is going out on the second channel, Arbiter-Ian's Precinct House, but there is a first channel just called Arbiter-Ian where you can go to get all the early episodes of Book Club and also some other videos too.
And if you're here because of IGN, hello!
Oh yeah.
You've done some Warhammer videos
I've done
for IGN.
some more Warhammer videos for IGN.
So how many can we expect to see?
There's
That's
another
exciting.
3 coming out.
Can you tell us the themes? Or?
No.
Okay.
Ha!
So keep an eye out.
But there's another 3 coming out. So that's going well. Many people have come over from IGN, actually.
Hello, IGN people.
Hi, IGN people.
Lovely to have you.
So yeah, we're doing a book club. Sorry if we seem a bit subdued. It's because we just had a massive Sunday roast. Massively full of Sunday roast right now. Roast coma. Today the book we're doing is Aaron Dembski-Bowden's HELSREACH. Yes, that's right. The book that started it all. I don't actually know if this was the first ADB book.
This is a 40k book.
It's a 40k book. Lots of people have asked for this over the years. It's a very, very popular book. It's been popular for a while. When was this book out, actually?
Well, let's have a little look. I have to say, so much pressure, firstly, to watch the animation.
Oh, yeah, I watched the animation. Yeah, it was interesting.
2010 came out.
But then the animation's very recent, and the which is like a fan animation that you can find online, does the whole book, cuts out most of it, gets rid of some of the really good characters, which is annoying. And
Ian, if you had to hand animate, you might drop a few thousand Space Marines.
And then also there's an audiobook, but the audiobook's from 2017 when they started really getting into audiobooks. So that's quite a lot later as well. So it's been consistently popular for a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of lore around how that animator, when he did the animation, he was not good as the end of it, because every time he was drawing, he was improving his art.
Yeah, interesting.
You can see the change throughout. I'm probably going to do a watch along on my channel. Okay. I did try watching it before I read the book, but I found it a little bit impenetrable. So we'll see if it feels any different.
It makes more sense about halfway through. Okay, yeah. But yeah, so without further ado, we will do the plot summary. But first, Mira, tell us about HELSREACH.
In a world where promotion doesn't always equal something good, you too can be sent to a doomed planet. Grimaldus, who I kept thinking of as Gargamel in the Smurfs,
the Smurfs,
is a depressed hero. Will he survive to the end of the book? Will any of them survive? The orcs are coming. The orcs are coming. The drums. Gandalf.
Oh yeah, a load of people said this was like 40k HELSREACH. HELSREACH? Helm's Deep. Helm's Deep, that's it.
Sorry, we've had a roast.
So in order to perk us up from the roast, we're drinking tea, as always.
Yay!
Today's tea
is special Moomin tea.
Yeah.
So there are a couple of stories around this. One, my colleague Alex from Trench Crusade got me the Moomin mystery box of tea. 2, it's the Moomin's 80th anniversary. So there we go. And they come in these, you hold your box.
Yeah, you get these little, that's your one actually. But you get these little, each of them is an individual tea bag wrapped in a box, and you don't know what it is until you open it. Yeah.
So my tea is called You'll See.
And it's like chocolate red bush?
Yes. Chocolate cake red bush.
And my one is called Funny About Love. And it's a jasmine green tea.
Lovely. So we are drinking Moomin teas for HELSREACH.
To calm us down after reading a book which is so incredibly depressing all the way through, apart from one guy.
This is one of the most grimdark books I've ever read.
It's proper grimdark. It's like actual, real grimdarkness.
His name is Grimaldus.
It is true. The
clue was in the story.
Yeah, and the world's called Armageddon.
Yeah,
just to really set the tone.
Strong recognition of. Remember we read the Gaunt's Ghost.
Necropolis. Yeah, see, I've got comments about that at the end.
Yes, let's talk about
how it stands up to Necropolis. Yeah. So, HELSREACH. So HELSREACH is interesting. It's about a big event that already existed in 40k.
Tell me.
Armageddon was already a thing. Armageddon's a very famous planet, keeps getting invaded by orcs.
There's been like 3 ages of fights
There's been like 4 invasions, 2 by Angron and 2 by Ghazghkull-Thraka.
Ghazghkull-Thraka, a famous orc.
But not a lot of orcs. There's no orc characters in this.
There's no personification of the orcs.
No, they're just a thing.
They are the enemy beyond the gate.
Threat. Yeah. So it's interesting. So we start off this book, we meet our main character, Grimaldus.
Yes.
Right? He's a jolly guy. He's just been promoted to the Reclusiarch of the Eternal Crusade.
This is a made-up Reclusiarch.
Right, Reclusiarch is the normal title for the head priest in a Space Marine chapter. But the Black Templars are different, because the Black Templars are arseholes, as I'm sure you'll get through the rest of the book. And one of the things the Black Templars do... horrible. One of the things the Black Templars do is they split up their chapter into, like, they've got way too many Space Marines, and they're split across all these crusades that are like their own independent force. So the leader of the Black Templars is High Marshal Helbrecht. Bit weird. I did the audio because I've read the book before, so I did the audiobook this time.
Oh, I love it when Ian does an audiobook.
And Grimaldus talks like this. But High Marshal Helbrecht, big, important main character of the Black Templars, can you do an impression of what you think his voice might sound like?
I am the big boss!
No. No, what his voice sounds like is, "Hello, I'm High Marshal Helbrecht." He's sort of a bit like he's going to report you for being 5 minutes late to work.
He's the voice you do when I ask you to do the Emperor and you want to upset me.
It's actually, it turns out the voice I do for the Emperor is the voice Jonathan Keeble does for Helbrecht. Apparently it's a guttural rumble, but it sounds like an angry 1970s accountant.
Good to know. Good to know. I love that description.
So he's been told, right, you're the head priest now, Grimaldus.
Because his priest dad, boss,
died. Mordred died. Yeah, so he inherits the armor and the bonking stick and all that stuff. And
you can buy those at Games Workshop. Just go in and ask for a bonking stick.
Yeah. And then they go to Armageddon and they're like, right, well, Armageddon's happening, full of orcs, very bad.
This I found a little bit of a... So essentially there is the most huge orc fleet ever.
Yeah.
They have been rallied, because normally they're chaotic. They're just flying around like, But this guy...
Ghazghkull-Thraka, who's head orc.
Who becomes a thing in the lore, has organised such a big fleet that they're basically like, we can't defend the planet.
Yes, they know it's incoming and they know they can't defend it, so they're going to try and hold it off for as long as possible. And it's a hive city, massive wastelands between the hives, so everyone's going to attack these hives. And he's very grumpy because he's like, great, big space battle then. We've got a very strong fleet, we'll do the space battle. And Grimaldus and Helbrecht is like, no, we're going to do the space battle. You're going to go and defend HELSREACH hive, which is definitely going to fall.
The voice.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Which is, I was so shocked this was the setup of the book.
This is the setup. You're going to go and defend this hive that's doomed.
Yeah.
With your 100 Space Marines.
I mean, I think there's a lot of lore around the Black Templars that would help me to know. Like, knowing they split off into these chapters like this would have helped, like, knowing that they are kind of reviled.
The whole thing about Black Templars is they're sort of dicks. So the whole thing about Black Templars is they're, like, ultra-religious. They're, like, religious fundamentalist Space Marines.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And they don't play by any of the rules, and they have a massively high turnover of casualties, and they frequently lead suicidal charges for honor or for the glory of the God Emperor, and they think everyone else is shit.
I got that impression. Yeah.
So there's a lot of like, well, we're honor bound to defend HELSREACH, so you're going to go down there and you'll all die, but that's how we're going to do it. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Grimaldus, though, bad Space Marine, because he's really grumpy about it.
It's very interesting that he's not for the glory.
Yeah.
For the Emperor. He's like, oh, God's sake.
Yeah. He's really annoyed. He's
it is a suicide mission.
It's a total suicide mission. Well, he thinks it is. And he's got these little mates. They go down to the planet. He's got mates, right? He's got his mates. His mates are Arterion the Banner Bearer, who's like not bothered about nothing. Primus, who's young and likes swords. Nerevar, who's a quiet apothecary, he does a lot. Kador, who is old, that's his main thing, and Bastalan, who's a sergeant. And they're his squad, and they drop pod down. Yeah. They go to HELSREACH, and they make a guy called Kurov, who's the local guard commander. There's like a load of different guard commanders in this. It gets a bit confusing. There's like
there are so many characters:
Syria Tyro, Kurov, and another guy, Saren. Yeah, there's loads of them, and they all have different plans, and he ignores them all basically. They have 100. They have 100 Black Templar Knights positioned across this whole hive city to try and inspire the humans.
Yeah. Which is not a lot when you hear how many orcs are coming down.
And then they have this flashback to this like hollow meeting they had with Yarrick and Helbrecht. Yarrick is like the old commissar who's returned to defend the planet.
We cannot stop the orc fleet.
Yes, that's how he talks. They cannot stop the orc fleet. They're stuck there. The Black Templars are like a bit like, oh, this sucks. All the rest of the chapter are fighting in orbit, and we're stuck here on this planet. Yeah. And they're also a bit like, and this Grimaldus guy's just been promoted, and he doesn't know what he's fucking doing.
I know.
It doesn't help.
At this point, I was thinking, could this be they turned it around?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm hopeful. At this stage in the book, I'm like, they'll be fine.
They'll be fine. So they go and he has a meeting. He meets Saren, who's the local commander of the guard, and he meets Syria Tyro, who's Kurov's assistant.
Yeah.
And he meets the people from the Titan Legion Invigilata. There's like a representative. There's a main guy from the flying people, the airplane people.
Very excited that there are big Titans in this one.
There's some big Titans in it.
Yeah.
And then he stands there for 9 days reviewing quantities of data about like medical facilities and
montage.
He just stands there looking at files.
Like when Johnny Five, they put all the books on top of him, and anyway.
And it's got like he's really looking up the union reports of amount of workers they could indenture and all this sort of stuff.
Yep. Food supplies.
And then they also have to plan for what Invigilata are doing, because Invigilata are like, well, we might not help.
This was so Brazil. The organisation and administration of Titan machines. Who's saying where they can go?
Yeah. And they've all got their own rules.
Yeah. I quite like that little subplot, you know?
So by the time he's finished reading books, the alarms have gone off because the fleet battle started and all the orcs have arrived. So he seals the city and declares martial law. He tries to speak to he speaks to a guy called Casimir, who's like the representative in Vigilatus, and he tries to convince them to stay and defend the hive, because they're like, well, our job's to defend the whole planet, so we can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
Because there's petitions coming in from elsewhere. But Casimir's like, no, I'm not going to tell you that we're staying. So he's like, great, I want to speak to your Princeps Majoress, Zara.
And we all know the Princeps is the person in the goo tank.
In the goo tank, yeah. Zara in a goo tank. And then he's like, no, you can't do that. We don't do that. So then he gets in his tank and drives up to the Titan.
He pulls a Karen.
Yeah. He's like, right, show me, let me speak to your manager.
I'm going to speak to them directly.
Yeah.
You're not actually allowed up there, miss. It's staff only.
Yeah, exactly. And then he's like, I'm going to shoot you all if you don't let me speak to you.
He's going to shoot the crew of the whole Titan.
Yeah. And then she's like, all right, fine. And then he goes up to meet her and she's like, oh, you've got kind eyes, which is like, you're a dick. Yeah. So then she's like, yeah, all right, I'll help you. Fine.
He does do like a rousing kind of speech.
He does a few of these. Yeah. They're sort of rousing speeches on paper, but if you think about them too much, they're horrible.
They are horrible.
Yeah.
But also, this Titan has got a whole cathedral on it.
Yeah,
it's an Indomitor class.
It's a Emperor class, Imperator Titan.
Imperator Titan, Emperor class. I don't know the difference between those two things.
That's the same word, but in Latin and English. Yeah. So it's
that's good.
There's a whole subplot about a priest who lives in the cathedral.
Yes.
And when it gets broke, he like goes and starts to be a priest in real life.
He gets his little ladder down.
Yeah.
But it's a whole bloody cathedral on a Titan.
Yeah.
I've not seen that. Luckily, Lee from he's a Titan master, sent me a picture of
So yeah, she's like, all right, fine. Well, I guess I'll help. A spaceship, which was previously the strike cruiser, the Purest Intent, but has been nabbed by orcs, crashes into the atmosphere above the city. It was lost by something called the Shadow Walls 11 years before. The Black Templars like, oh, I remember that. And then 37 other ships breach the blockade. 6 crash onto the surface. We get a little fight. They go out to like do a little fight at the crash site, and we see how they all fight. Primus is impetuous. He gets disabled by an orc while they're trying to clear a wreck. Grimaldus is like, I'm glum. And Nerevar's like, this is quite bad. As a chaplain, it's quite bad that you're so grumpy, because it's quite bad for morale. Yeah. And Grimaldus is a dick again.
We have a few of these moments where his team are saying to him, pull it together, Grimaldus. We need you.
Your job's morale, and you're being really, really grumpy.
Yeah.
Right, so then the planetary assault begins. Loads of troop landers. There's hulks crashing the wastelands. Loads of orcs. Wreckage rains onto the city. Loads of soldiers go and defend the walls. Grimaldus does a big stirring speech.
Yeah.
And then he predicts that the first strike will target the north wall. And then it does, and there's a big fight.
Yeah.
I haven't done the details of the fight because there's a big fight.
It's quite good. In the detailing, he's like, this is going to happen. Then it's going to be absolute chaos. They're just spoiling for a fight. They've been in space too long. The orcs just want to come and smash people. So
they do a big fight. And then basically the plot resumes after the big fight. Like Syria Tyros is reviewing all the ammunition expenditure. Riken arrives, who's another Imperial Guard guy. Very hard to tell the difference between all of them. And he's complaining about there's acidic rain, there's atmospheric disturbance, there's all this other stuff to factor in when you're doing a hive battle. And they show that like other hives, like Acheron Hive, loads of orcs have landed there. And they've gone, right, well, there's also a load of orcs have landed in the ocean. And that's your problem because you're closest.
This was awful. They ignore it.
Yeah.
They're like, so what? The orcs don't know what they're doing.
Yeah,
why are they going out there?
Orcs can't swim.
No. But it was at this point I thought Grimaldus is not going to be okay. The planet is... When they described the immensity of the attack and all the different hives going up in flames, I was like, this is not going to have a happy ending.
And they're trying to keep the docks open to remove get the fuel shipments from the oil platforms out at sea because HELSREACH is on the coast. Anyway, then there's a random plot thing that happens,
which I was really excited about.
Yeah, Grimaldus approaches the Imperial Guard people about a sealed Mechanicus facility known as D16. Located northwest of the city in the wastelands.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've been looking at all these files and I reckon there's an old weapon there from the last war.
So you're thinking, well, hopefully that 9 days will be justified. Yeah. I'm thinking the kind of weapon that, do you remember the Dark Angels gave their weapon away that they found?
Oh, yeah. In the Heresy. Yeah.
I always thought it'd be like some kind of like holdover from that, or even better, like they found an old nuclear warhead from Terra. Yeah,
something like that.
Something like that.
So he's like, right, I'm going to go and visit it to figure out what it is. Yeah. And Tyro's like, you can't do that. It's a Mechanicus facility. And then he's like, I'm not asking you. I'm asking if you want to come along.
Do you know what this is?
It's the cog. That's
the cog. I learned what the cog is through this book. So another thing I've learned, Mechanicus and Space Marines don't always get along.
No.
A lot of politics.
Yeah, a lot of yelling at each other.
Yeah.
So Tyro's like, you can't do it. And he's like, I'm not asking you if I can do it. I'm asking you if you want to come along.
Yeah.
So they all go along to the facility and they meet the best character, which is Andre. Andre's he's like he's a stormtrooper.
How does he sound in the audiobook?
He's like jolly and Eastern European. And they meet Andre and another soldier he fancies, whose name I can never remember, but soldier he fancies. She's not in it very much. And they're in charge of they're in this garrison out there, and they see the Black Templars arrive. Andre's very jolly. Yeah.
He's got a good attitude compared to Grimaldus, I'll tell you.
Yeah, he's the only happy person on Armageddon.
The opposite.
And they take their tech marine, Duritian, who opens the door. He pokes Marines for an hour. They all just stand there for an hour while he's poking a machine. Finally gets the doors open, and they find this big internal armoured bunker called Oberon.
Which I was so excited about.
And they're like, right, do you know what that means? No, it's not a Midsummer Night's Dream.
What does it mean?
It is the home of the ancient Ordinatus Armageddon.
Which I thought this was the whole plot was going to turn on this.
I thought so too. And it's sort of a bit weird. And Duritian's like, right, I'm going to need at least a week standing here to see if I can get it working.
Because there's only one Mechanicus available. And he was saying they would need like 7 or 8.
Yeah, they need all this stuff to get it working. And he's like, I'm the only tech marine. I'll have a go. So they're like, fine, we'll leave you here. And then as they return, they see that Hades Hive's been blown up. So it's not going well on this planet.
No.
And then he's like, right, it's been blown up. He plants his banner on the north wall of HELSREACH. He's like, another speech, it won't fall, all this stuff, right? So then later, he's called in to see Princess Zaha again. She's now annoyed at him.
Yes.
Because she's like, you can't just go to a Mechanicum facility and wake up Ordinatus Armageddon. It needs like a very senior priest to do that, and they aren't within range, so you can't do it. And he ends up having a load of Black Templars gunships appear outside the front of the Titan and is like, I'm going to blow open the entire bridge and kill everybody if you don't fuck off.
He's such a bully.
Yeah.
But also, like, this is the lore around Mechanicus projects.
Yeah.
You have to have, like, ritual and prayer.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that silliness is coming into it. But Grimaldus shows his true colours, and he basically, it's one of the first Space Marines who I've seen go rogue and completely...
Yeah. He's just like, screw this, I'm doing whatever I want.
He's the boss of his little amount of people, and he's going to do what he wants. Which they're not really allowed to do, Ian.
No.
So,
there's another. Then what happens is the fight for HELSREACH carries on. So there's this massive breach of the city wall,
which you've
collapses.
been dreading because you're hearing how horrible these orcs are, what they're doing, and then they finally do it, and it's absolutely gutting.
Gargants come in, which are like waddly orc titans.
Yes.
There's Gargants wandering around. The Invigilata fight them.
Oh my gosh, this was really sad. So I've got a soft spot for, the flying ones, because since we've read Interceptor City, and they kind of decide we want to go and be heroic, and someone says, oh no, it's okay, Grimaldus said we could. He didn't. But they lie to get out there, and they're just squished out of the sky. It's oof.
Invigilata fight off some Gargants, but then they have to refuel, so they sort of withdraw backwards into the city away from the walls. They're fighting over a thing called Hell's Highway, which is like the main street through the Hive and out into the wastelands, because they want to stop him movement. Grimaldus is like flying around and doing fights everywhere. And Storm Herald, which is Zaha's big titan, ends up being like bogged down amidst the destroyed buildings, and Zaha is almost lost. She almost gets destroyed enough to lose herself to the machine.
This was so stressful. The orcs trick her into walking down into a side street, and then they demolish the buildings either side of the titan. They bring the titan down, and you think, oh no, that's the titan dead, but luckily Grimaldus does.
Yeah, she almost disappears off into her brain, and then Grimaldus is like, hey, browsing speech.
Yeah.
You should come and help.
You forget how tricky it is to be a princeps with all the past dead voices of the other operators in the Titan trying to kill you, essentially, or make you do what they want to do.
So we cut to like weeks later. The siege is still going on. Loads of people are dead. Half the hive's destroyed.
Things are not going as we had
hoped. On the 36th day, Apothecary Nerevar is out getting gene seed. He gets gene seed from old Kadar because he died.
He dead.
And they all have this big argument. Nerevar's like, what the fuck are we doing? You suck, Grimaldus. I hate this. And they're all very, very... It reminded me a bit of... What was the Sisters of Battle novel, where they're all meant to be pious and strong and zealous? The minute there's a problem, they all fucking collapse into arguing amongst themselves. And it felt like that, because these are also the religious ones. And the minute there's a problem, they were like...
Yeah, I know the one you mean. It's where they find this relic sword and it's been... toxic, and it's like a sisterly order, and the sister gets in trouble for coming out of a vigil and saving them all. So then they find that what's happened is all those orcs who landed in the sea have constructed some boats, and now they're going towards the docks. It's not just boats, submarines.
Orc marines.
Did you know orcs could do submarines?
He's like, right, well, we're going to have to defend the docks now against this massive assault. And if they don't, then it'll fall by nightfall. And then they all go to the docks. And what you meet again is Andre, who's now leading some like workers. He's leading, you get these characters who are like, random
like
conscripts,
aren't they?
They're conscripted from the factories. And Andre is like, don't worry, we'll make it through. You just follow me. He sort of semi-saves Grimaldus, and Grimaldus is like, oh, this is very good. And he's like, yeah, by the way, could you put in a good word for me to my commander? Because it'll look very good, and it'll make me look very good when I marry this former soldier at the end of this campaign, because I'm definitely going to do that.
Whose name we can't remember. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Andre definitely the anti-Grimaldus. Yeah.
And Grimaldus is like, I'm not sure what to say, but I guess okay.
Yeah. Some very good human moments and some good banter and chats between them all.
And we get some more human moments coming up, because then drop pods land, bringing reinforcements.
Yes.
70 salamanders from their 6th company. Sergeant Vareth of the Salamanders is like, well, I'm very pleased to fight alongside you, Recluse the Ark Grimaldus. And Grimaldus is like, meh.
Grimaldus is so mean to the Salamanders.
They do the fighting, right? So they do a fighting happens.
Yeah, fighting.
Salamanders are fighting somewhere else, and they've been sent, their chapter master sent them to help. And when Vareth's about to leave, he's like, we've lost all our chaplains. Would you lead us in prayer? And Grimaldus is like, no, because you wouldn't attack enough. And there's this big argument where Vareth's like, well, we were outnumbered, so the correct thing to do to defend the most people was to fall back and consolidate.
Yep.
And he's like, no, you always attack, screw everybody else, always attack. And he refuses to lead them in prayer and orders them to leave, which is really stupid.
So bleak. You keep thinking with every Grimaldus interaction that it'll be his moment to have his redemption. But he's very, very stuck in his head.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
So then they're like, well, you're probably not going to, now Armageddon's so destroyed that it's probably not going to get any future support because it won't be able to provide tithes anyway.
They're going to write you off.
Yeah, no, and they're like, yep, actually, HELSREACH is a low priority. It's mostly destroyed now. It's not going to get anything. Yarrick's diverted all forces to the Hemlock River, which is where the salamanders are. So he shouldn't have sent the salamanders away, should he?
No, he shouldn't, Ian.
But Grimaldus is like, I'm not stopping. I've been told to defend HELSREACH, and I'm going to die, and I don't like it, but I'm not going to stop because of rules or something.
Because of reasons.
They've got no ammunition and no supplies. And the city's falling. So he's like, right, we're going to have to choose how we die. We're going to go to the cathedral. Which also turns out to be where Andre's going.
Yeah, it's where all the characters are heading.
All the characters, for some reason, are going to the cathedral.
I kind of really like this because there has been this biblical religious overtone and, ascension, him becoming the successor. And, even the Titan has the cathedral on it. So I kind of think it's very fitting. Yeah,
because the cathedral priest from the Titan, he's going to the cathedral as well.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Everyone ends up in this set-piece battle around the cathedral. The Grimaldus is a dick to the prioress of the cathedral as well.
So rude.
Yeah.
I would never.
And the prioress is like, no, we're all staying here and fighting. So there's everyone's fighting. Meanwhile, last big push by the Orks. Zaha and Stormherald engage this big enemy gargant called Godbreaker.
Yes, which is basically destroying everything. Nothing can stand against it.
They can't stop it. Grimaldus tells everyone to fall back to the temple. There's all these little pockets. You have this little thing where you see over the city all these little pockets of resistance holding out. In Vigilata, most of them have to withdraw. But then Tech Marine Bob from the start of the book, who we haven't heard of for a while, wakes up Oberon. Now it's crap. It's not got any void shields. It's running at half speed. None of its defensive weapon works. But he drives it down the highway and bloops the Gargant in one shot.
So good.
Yeah, it's like a spaceship weapon. And it shoots it once against this giant Gargant that's killed everything.
Yes.
And he destroys it in one shot. So that's a Gargant gone.
So do you know what kind of weapon they're alluding to then?
It's a Nova cannon. Is what it's on it. Yeah, which is this starship cannon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think also, wasn't the Gargant formed in the shape of...
They're all big fat waddling orcs.
Yeah.
All got Gargants. These big fat waddling orcs.
Somebody wrote somewhere on the internet that Gargant was in the shape of Mork and Ork.
Mork and Gork.
Mork and Gork.
and or Gork. Yeah.
And or Gork.
Gork is brutally cunning and Mork is cunningly brutal. Or the other way around. Orcs don't completely ever get it right either, so that's fine. So they blow up the Gargant, and then
I hated Stormbreaker.
There's some extra Invigilata Titans wandering around who helped out. The graveyard's overwhelmed. They fall back to the Basilica. There's only 12 Black Templars left. The Emperor's Champion, who is this like crazy vision-having space marine that Black Templars have, dies, and they have to get his black sword back because it's a holy relic.
That becomes incredibly important to Grimaldus.
Yeah.
It's like he's had no faith, and right at the end he's like, we need the relics, we need the faith back.
And then just as that happens, and the cathedral's almost destroyed, and then the season of fire starts, which is like weather happens and the war's over.
Thank God for the season of fire.
So weather happens, war over.
But not before that cute little what's his name?
Andre?
No. I'm going to suck your things out after you die.
Suck your things out. Oh, Nerevar.
Yeah. He dies.
Everyone dies. Yeah. There's like not many of them left. It's possibly only Grimaldus left at the end.
Nerevar, I found all the little friends dying, sad. But Nerevar seemed like this innocent and...
Yeah. He was nice-ish for a Black Templar, for a Space Marine.
He was just trying to prolong everyone's lives and save all the little gene seeds,
So at the end of it, we find that the HELSREACH is among the territories held. The sort of Imperials declare it a victory, but Grimaldus is like, grump, grump, grump. This isn't a victory. I don't get it. We lost too many things. Urgh.
Yeah.
All the Black Templars sent with Grimaldus are dead.
It's bad, isn't it?
And Grimaldus eventually returns to the surface with the relics that he recovered from the Temple of the Emperor Ascendant, which is a banner, a stone pillar, and a bronze globe. And he's met by cheering crowds of civilians, and they all hail him the hero of HELSREACH. And he's like, what the fuck is this? Blah. And he makes it off with the relics, which are held by servitors, which is his model, comes with these 3 servitors holding relics.
Oh.
Yeah. And that's it. Grimaldus is no happier by the end of it. Everyone's grumpy. Everyone was grumpy all the way through.
What have we learned?
What did we learn out of this? That's what happens in HELSREACH.
Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah, this is like an extremely famous and well-loved book. Yeah.
I mean, I think it's the most grimdark book I've ever read.
Really?
Because it's just... I mean, I kind of think it's like, you know, when you read a World War I or II journal about a doomed battalion or the battle, and you know the ending is not good. And the futility and the hopelessness, like, there were surges of hope. They were like, you know, ADB, how could you do this to us? The surge of hope, finding this legendary weapon, that will save them all. No. This surge of hope, the pilots are like, why don't we just go and we'll save the day? No. You know, there are moments where the Titan falls down and you're like, oh, she's going to come back twice as powered. And yeah, it's just a lot.
Yeah, it's bleak. It's really, really bleak.
Yeah.
And I found it actually not that... I didn't find it... I've read it obviously years and years and years ago.
2010.
And so it came out 15 years ago. I've read it. And then this time round, I was just like, I don't know if I like anyone in this. Andre was a really good thing, but I'm like, I don't think Grimaldus is cool. I don't think the Black Templars are cool. They all just seem horrible, doing a horrible thing horribly.
Yeah.
And we're meant to be like, yeah, but they're the only people who could. And you're like, yeah, I don't know. I just didn't get it. I weirdly, I was also, it's got these huge set piece things in it. But weirdly, I think I preferred Necropolis's description of Hive War. Because although there's lots of bleak things happening here, they're not happening to the people who are the main characters, right?
Yeah.
Like Grimaldus is just grumpy all the way through. Whereas in Necropolis, it's the normal humans manning the walls and they're being horrified by these things. Whereas here, the normal humans are like side characters who will do something heroic in the background text and then die. So weirdly, I was like, I'm not apart. There's like moments in it which are really good character studies, like the Grimaldus not knowing what he's doing, being a dick to the salamanders, lots of the Andre bits.
Yeah.
But a lot of the rest of the book, I was like, I think this is the most bolter-porn Aaron Dembski-Bowden book.
It's
bleak action for the sake of bleak action.
Yeah, on the cover, it says a Space Marine Battles novel.
Yeah, which was this whole imprint that they put together. A lot of them out of, when they decided there was a Space Marine Battle series, a lot of it was books that already existed.
That's
and
interesting.
they went, these are all Space Marine Battles novels.
So that's where you would file them. And I think, I mean, I did get the litter. I felt as a, you know, when I'm always looking for like the literary bent, like the literature behind it. And I think it is this, it's this tale of like a reluctant hero who is willing to sacrifice himself for the cause. But you see his emotional turmoil throughout, which I think in another place and time, if I'd read this in 90s Britpop before the book was published, it might be like a bit of a jollier read, but I think when the outside world's so depressing. One thing I will say is I had a lot of dark stuff going on, like family and hospital and stuff, and this took me away. Yeah. And I finally understand how the grimdark can make you feel better. Which is such a weird and
at least things aren't
way.
that bad.
Yeah.
And that's what you're meant to think.
It felt very healing actually reading this, you know, and being able to like escape it. But it is, you know, it's kind of portentous and solemn in that it is a man grinding hopelessly, you know, but heartfully to try and preserve this hopeless battle.
Well, also while he's like pre-script, well, there's a really interesting thing when the salamanders turn up, right? Aaron's really good at writing, one of the best at writing space marines that actually feel like people. It's weird that, and it's certainly a choice to take this space marine chapter, who are known for being basically idiots, like zealous fanatics. They're the worst, some of the absolute worst people in the Space Marines.
So who plays Black Templars then?
Oh, I mean, lots of people play Black Templars. A lot of people like them because they're so comedically, horrifically awful.
Okay.
Also, if you are one of the horrific right-wing white supremacists, 50-50 you're playing Black Templars.
Oh
which is
my
not to say that all
God.
Black Templars are.
Not
because
all
they're
Blacks.
like...
Not all Black Templars.
No, a lot of people just really enjoy how comedically horrible they are.
Yeah.
But the same reason people like a lot of the factions in 40k.
Yeah.
But it is the one that gets a lot of that sort of person. It's because they've got all this like actual, like very similar to real world Crusader iconography. And they're very, very religious in a very, very Christian way.
Christian / fascistic.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's a choice, certainly, to apply choosing a Space Marine chapter to make believably have like worry and anxiety and pathos.
Yeah.
And humanizing these arseholes.
Well, maybe that's the trick, the challenge.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I suppose we do see a lot of the time, especially when the salamanders turn up, who seem like very well-adjusted human beings.
Yeah.
We see how absolutely their dogma and ridiculous beliefs stop them functioning as people.
I felt there was a lot of themes of isolation in this. So Zara is isolated in her tank.
Yeah.
Grimaldus is isolated by these thoughts of, I've been abandoned here. This is not my destiny. Andre is separated from his partner. I really felt that isolation and being torn apart. I mean, it's very, very, very powerful. That is an ADB special as well.
Yeah.
I think when we talk about Necropolis, obviously that's very different because it's like human infantry and it's like a lot of storytelling along the way and AB stories, and you get, it's kind of more of a villagey town observation. With this, I feel like it's very thematic.
Yes.
And you need to see the battle scenes and understand the crushing despondency because the orcs are just so powerful. I mean, there was some stuff in there that had me like hurling the book. Like when they were like, someone brings a message, the orcs have gone to the ocean. It's like, follow.
Yeah.
So yeah, very powerful. I mean, as you know, I'm not a big fan of massive battles. So I found it really hard to like Grimaldus because he was so
I don't know
angry.
if you're meant to.
I felt very sorry for him.
Yeah.
I wanted him to survive, but even at the end, he was being called a hero and he was still isolated on his own.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I think the absolute best bit of the book, though, is the contrast to Andre.
Yes.
The only happy person in 40k. One of the nice, he just keeps on popping up with silly comments, rallying everyone along, like, don't worry, we'll all be fine. Talking back to Grimaldus, who does not understand what the humour is.
Yeah.
That's very well observed.
I think Andre was such a needed touch. And he wrote one thing and I was going through a particularly rough time. And I just copied this down. Mag Hernus wanted to ask if Andre was really a stormtrooper, which I think is a nod to Star Wars, which I loved. He settled for saying, "You're not exactly what I expected." Life, the soldier said, looking off to the side in what appeared to be a distracted consideration, is a series of very wonderful surprises until a final bad one. Turning to the entire group, Andre buckled his helmet's chin strap with a grin. So we've had all Grimaldus' speech. My handsome new friends, it's soon to be time for war. So my beautiful ladies and fine gentlemen, if you want to remain beautiful and fine, keep your heads down and your rifles up. Always aim for the cheek with your eyes down the barrel. Do not be firing from the hip. That's the best way to feel excellent about yourself and yet hit nothing. Oh, and it will be loud and scary, no? Much panic, I think. Always wait 1 second before pulling your trigger to make sure you are aiming at something you should be aiming at. Otherwise, you may be shooting other people, and that is bad news for you and worse news for them. And it was just like, that contrast was so brilliant.
Andre's team building meeting.
And then at the end, of course, someone says to him, I can't find it now. I'm annoyed with myself. I didn't mark it. But they say, did you ever find the girl that you were looking for?
Yeah.
And he kind of puts on
Grimaldus asks him.
And he puts on a fake smile and he goes, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know that he didn't.
Yeah.
So...
Hey ho. So, new chapter alert. Black Templars.
Black
For the first time. What did you think of the Black Templars? They're nice people.
I wish we could have seen more of the ritualistic,
There's a few flashbacks at the start to him getting invested.
Yeah, I wish we could have seen more of that and the ritual element. And I wish we could have seen more of the unity before it all went crazy. I am so getting mixed up with 40k and 30k chapters.
Right.
So, for example, there were some who was it, Lunar Wolves or something?
Yeah.
And the Salamanders obviously are...
The Salamanders are both.
Okay.
So the Salamanders are in 30K.
And 40K.
And they continue through to 40K. The Black Templars are derived from the Imperial Fists. So the Imperial Fists have this group in them called the Templar Brethren, who protect like their Temple of Oaths on their flagship.
Yeah.
Led by a guy called Sigismund, who is we've met probably a few times in the Heresy, being Rogel Dawn's best mate.
Yeah.
And we'll get to him in the other book we're doing. He's mentioned in Shadows of Tetri. So that's Sigismund.
Okay. Yes. Got it.
And he ends up, his plot essentially, which isn't really a spoiler because everyone knew it beforehand because these exist, is that he ends up getting religious, which Dawn doesn't approve of. And when the legions are split up after the Heresy, he starts the crazy religious chapter, which is the Black Templars. Yeah.
And isn't there a bit in this, am I getting my books mixed up, where they come across the statue of Dawn?
Yeah.
And it helps them rally?
Yeah.
Maybe it's this one. We've read 3 books at the same time, so my head's a bit messed up. But yeah. And then the other one, the ones we mentioned, the wolves or something, or the lunar somebodies.
The lunar wolves from Heresy.
So
here it's only the Black Templars. Oh, there was like the Shadow Wolves. No, they're just a made-up chapter just to have someone who died.
Don't make up chapters. I'm trying to learn the bloody ones that establish
the
too
Shadow
many.
Wolves or something. Yeah, no, that's just the thing.
And we also see the Sisters in the Temple.
We do, which is very a few cool. of those. Yeah. So Black Templars. They've got this whole thing. I don't know, 2010s. This was a while after they had sort of become the big cool Space Marine chapter in the late 90s.
And you can play Grimaldus.
You can play Grimaldus, yeah.
Would you ever play Black Templars? No. What do they get that's extra?
Their big thing is that most Space Marines have like scout units who are people training to be Space Marines, but in the Black Templars, they don't do scouting. They just throw those guys in the normal squad. So the normal squads are made up of full Space Marines and like their squires, who are the scouts who just get killed first.
They cost less.
They just have to do vows and things before battle. Also, worth saying that one of the things that there's been a recent Games Workshop Codex out, and Black Templars Codex out, and I was reading through it. And one of the best things about it is it does not pull. In case anyone was confused about if these guys are meant to be the heroes, the new Codex is very, very clear at how ridiculously destructive their way of doing things is.
Good to know.
It's like, yes, we won, but we won in the absolute most destructive, needlessly awful way.
Nothing is left standing.
Yeah.
So are you going to do a video on that new codex?
I'm going to do a video on the Black Templars, yeah, I will. Okay. Because they are quite interesting. And it's interesting that they're pulling Games Workshop are pulling no punches in. They're like, yes, they do win all the time, but they win all the time in the worst possible way for everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to watch that video.
Yeah,
and I think I would like to apologise to anyone that Ian's offended. If you play
there are
Black Templars.
There are lots of nice Black Templars people, but they are also they are all, because of their iconography and this like Christian Crusader thing. They tend to also have a bit of that reputation, which is not fun if you're a nice Black Templars fan.
No.
Yeah,
there you go.
Hey ho. So we have questions before we get to the bastard scale, which is very short because there's no enemy characters.
Yeah.
So here are the questions.
No Surrender has written. This is because somebody wrote just before this question, is Mira okay after Soul Hunter? Someone's written, is Ian okay after HELSREACH?
Yeah, it was like the third time I've read it or listened to it, and I was like, okay, I've forgotten Andre. Andre's fine, and the rest of it I was like, meh.
Mira is not okay. Ian's fine. He's inured to it.
And the animation I did watch as well, and I was like, I guess.
I'm going to do a watch-along animation. Maybe you can join in the chat when we watch that. Now,
right, Nat West has said some things.
Yeah. In HELSREACH, they thought it would be a suicide mission, but sent 3 of the biggest personalities in the entire chapter. Is that a hook for the next novel where people who are going to be promoted into these jobs feel resentful and passed over because the Reclusiarch didn't die well?
Oh, really? They reckon that you suck and I've got a backup person, but let's get rid of you on Hive HELSREACH, is thinking Helbrecht.
That's what Nat West is wondering.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. There's no sequel to this, right?
No.
So I think that's just a way of setting up this character they were going to release.
Yeah.
And it's 3 servitors with rocks.
You know, of 100, he's the only one that lived.
And character models never die in 40k. That's how it works. Very rare. So I don't think he's going to be. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. Also, it applies to Soul Hunter and HELSREACH in different ways. But the Mechanicus and the Black Templars were just repugnant. Yes, they were. I think that's the point. Yeah,
horrific.
But it is quite weird. It's interesting when you compare this to something like Spears of the Emperor.
Yeah,
which is also an Aaron Dembski-Bowden Space Marine novel with humans.
Yeah, I love Spears of the Emperor. in a much different way that I like this book. Okay. No, because that was the one where we had the ambush at the end and they were looking away from the Space Marines.
Yeah, because they didn't want to...
It felt more human.
Cafe says, on HELSREACH, my headcanon is there are more Black Templars than all other chapters combined. What do you guys think about the fact the most prominent chapter in the Imperium is ideologically exactly what the Emperor didn't want? Yeah, they're so prevalent across the galaxy. Like, there's way more of them than any other Space Marine chapter. I don't think...
A very successful spin-off cult then.
Yeah, they are. And the whole thing of them being like, yeah, we're not doing the 1,000 Marines thing. And also we've got them all spread into all this crusade. So who knows however many there are. Yeah. And there could be thousands of them. I don't think they're half of all Space Marines. I don't think there's 500,000 Black Templars.
Yeah, that would be odd.
But yeah, I do like, but I think it's extremely 40k that the ones who are very, very prominent are and all over the place are not only really bad at kind of at their job, but also not what the Emperor wanted.
Incredibly overly religious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jim.
We need to get this name right because I don't know if you saw the video where he just put all the times we said his name wrong.
Okay,
so,
right, okay.
It's Historita Grimaldus.
Okay.
It says in Andre. You've read many ADB stories now, yes? So I am thinking which one of these fine works is the best so far? HELSREACH must be, of course, near the top because it includes me, Andre, the best stormtrooper on all of Armageddon, yes? Everybody says so, but there is also Spear of the Emperor, Soul Hunter, the Sevatar Shorts, and the First Heretic. So maybe it's not so easy to choose, eh?
Very good, very good. Good doing that while avoiding the accent.
Thank you. I think I preferred all the others to this because... Soul Hunter I absolutely loved. It was absolutely joyful to read. Yeah. Spear of the Emperor, I loved the little touches in it and it terrified me. Sevatar Shorts.
You haven't got to those yet.
Are they in Shadows of...
I can't remember. We'll get to it when we do that one.
I mean, I absolutely love ADB's writing. This I just found so relentlessly...
Yeah, weirdly, same
tough.
Thing. I of all the ADB books, and I think this is one of the earliest ones, so it makes sense, but it's probably my least favourite.
Yeah.
To read.
I mean, I know that people who absolutely adore this book and love it. So yeah, it's not without its fans. Doesn't need us to be the top biggest fans of this, but yeah.
Aztec Jaguar. Question for Mira. Are you now a Black Templars Reclusiarch Grimaldus admirer? Considering that this chapter are absolute emperor botherers, you should be soulmates.
Okay, so because I have an issue and I think I can fix broken men, absolutely. Yeah, I feel for him. I really feel for him. I feel he's lonely and he was abandoned. Would I want to hang out with him in a broken down elevator? Probably not. But I have space in my heart for Grimaldus. I hope I see him again.
Okay, I'm not sure we actually ever do, but
we should look into it.
10 times Ian. Oh yeah. Do you think Trooper Andre might just be a perpetual? I think they'd invented perpetuals by this point. No, he's way too jolly. Perpetuals are all really, really annoyed at being perpetuals. Everyone knows that.
Ennui.
Yeah. 10 times stay. 9-1 favourite non-Black Templar point of view in HELSREACH. It's Andre, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be Andre.
Yeah.
Sky 3 AI. When Grimaldus had feelings of death on Armageddon at the opening of the book, was he reviving the same feelings of Sigismund on the Siege of Terror? The two seem connected somehow.
Oh.
The thing is, I don't think any of that Sigismund fluff was written yet.
Yes, it would have come afterwards, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because it's Siege of Terror. Yeah, that stuff's quite a lot later.
I mean, this is always the eternal guessing game. Is it psychic? Is it just a feeling? Is it magic?
And there are all these things about the Black Templars that, like, they believe that one of them will have visions from Sigismund on the eve of battle and then become the Emperor's champion and take the Black Sword and all this sort of stuff. What's actually going on there? No one knows.
No one knows.
Tigorno. HELSREACH, going from the stern secularism of 30k Marines to one of the only 40k chapters who actually worships the Emperor as a god is quite a contrast. How do you feel about the Black Templars? Do you think their fanaticism and overall evilness is portrayed appropriately? Also, bonus question, how do you feel about the contrast to them in other knightly chapters like the Dark Angels?
Like I say again, it was because it was so much Grimaldus' story and we got to see how he treated the others around him, but we didn't get to see them working as a legion, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But flipping heck, you know, I thought Lorgar and all his
they're all quite religious.
Yeah, you know, I thought the word bearers were bad, and yeah, it just seems. I'd like to read more about Black Templars. I can't believe I'm saying this.
Oh no!
But
God, this is what this book does. It's horrible all the way through, and then you're like, "Oh, I'll have some more of that, please." More horrible.
I am walking in the grimdark people, but I would like to read a less bolter-porn Black Templars book,
Yeah, okay,
maybe.
yeah.
Or just read a book where they're
there is
featured
one.
a bit more. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, but I think they work better as something that I've read some books, some of the more recent books where they're like side characters giving contrast to reasonable characters, and then they work really well as this like they're the unreasonable Marines.
I see.
Yeah, and they're always a problem.
Always a problem.
So I've only got one name on the bastard scale because there isn't actually any enemy characters in this book.
Oh, okay.
So the only person on the bastard scale is, of course, Grimaldus.
Oh.
Where does Grimaldus sit on the bastard scale?
I think at the beginning of the book, I mean, it changes for me. What do you think?
I think he's up there. I think he's a solid 7 on the bastard scale.
I'll agree with a 7, but by the end, don't you feel sorry for him?
I mean,
That's a no.
maybe a bit of the I don't understand all you humans thing.
Yeah.
I think that's done most well in the conversation with the salamanders and the conversations with Andre.
And right at the end.
And maybe right at the very end.
He has his moment of...
But yeah, you are like, oh, you're a dick.
I mean, I also think the Orks were dicks.
The Orks were dicks, but there's no character. I can't just put the Orks.
And...
we could, I suppose. Bastard scale for the Orcs. I mean, they're just having fun, right?
What about the one who put Grimaldus on the planet? I thought he was a
right bastard. Helbrecht, yeah.
Yeah, Helbrecht.
Helbrecht is
Let's get him on the scale.
He's on 11 or something.
Yeah. I mean, it's an unusual book in that there weren't that many snarky, nasty people.
No, there's no actual bad guy.
Yeah.
Apart from Grimaldus and the person who put Grimaldus on the planet.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Well, there we go. That is Hell's Reach.
Woohoo!
By Aaron Dembski-Bowden. We've got a lot of Aaron Dembski-Bowden to read today, haven't we?
We're having a lovely streak of ADB, which is very pleasing.
It's very pleasing for us, but very unfortunate for you because you can't image.
No.
Oh well.
And without authors, my channel is nothing. So
we'll just keep with the ADB books. Oh dear. Anyway, thank you for joining us for this retelling of the famous book Hell's Reach. Armageddon is, of course, never not threatened. So there are other books if you want to read more about Armageddon. There's some short story books,
we'll do that,
which is quite fun. They have even worse Space Marines in. It gets all the worst Space Marines go to Armageddon. But yeah, that's us for now. If you would like to see more of this thing, what we are doing, there's a whole channel of it, and then you've got a whole channel of author interviews, and I've got a whole channel of other stuff. So you can do that.
Do all the things. Also, thank you to our podcast listeners.
Podcast. ASMR. Yeah, thank you if you're listening to the podcast. The podcast is available on all the places you get podcasts and distributed via Libsyn, who aren't prohibiting us from monetizing the podcast because apparently it features violence. Which is what happened with the previous podcast supplier.
Hooray.
But yeah, hey ho.
Keep your helmets on till next time, people.
Yep, and your heads down, and maybe we'll all live through this.
Woohoo! See you next time. Bye.
And if you'd like to follow this series, well, like and subscribe and you'll probably get notifications. And check below for details of the Patreon, the YouTube membership scheme, the merch store, and of course, the second channel. See ya!